Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. It's me, Mitch. It's Thursday morning. Welcome. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. Have I mentioned that's me? I think so. First order of business. Drink it. If you got it. And enjoy a little blues in the process. Ah, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Ah, man. We're almost done. One more little holiday to go, New Year's Eve, but we're almost done. The veritable sea of pitfalls that we have to face between Thanksgiving and Christmas has come to an end this year, my friends. And I assume you're survivors. And in my little hello message this morning, I said, good morning, holiday survivors. I hope that's true. For many of us, probably not. I survived. I never had any doubt that I would, because I don't go anywhere where the temptation is. It's very easy for me. I don't have the temptation at home. I don't go to parties. I don't go out to eat. I don't do any of that stuff. So, you know, when you stay almost like under citizens arrest, I mean, home confinement, which I do most of the time. The only temptation I go across is the aisles in the stores I pass when I'm out shopping, and I look at that stuff for what it is, garbage and poison. So it's taken a while, but that's what's happened to me. But I know many of you haven't, and for those of you that haven't, no big deal. No big deal. Just start over if you have to. Start over, rewatch my video, what to do for the first 30 days if that happened to you, and just start over. And maybe by this time next year, you'll have been successful long enough where the pitfalls won't get you anymore. But don't be ashamed of yourself. And for God's sakes, don't use that lame logic that everybody seems to say because they're letting their addictions take over again. And don't say to yourself, well, I really blew it. It's my fault. I can't do this. And just go negative as hell. Why bother? And then go right back to all the things that you were able to correct, at least in some way, by actually living a carnivore and a healthy lifestyle. And we'll support you here, and you don't have to be ashamed. And if you want to use this forum as a confessional, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Nobody will judge you. We're all addicts, and we've all fallen for all the same stuff and been through it all our lives. And we're finally in a place where we can get some help. So welcome to Carboholics Anonymous. I consider this the first day of the new year. Surviving the holidays. So it's great to see you all. It's great to see you all. I did go to dinner at my son's house last night. I have some pictures to show you. And a few other things I want to talk about today. But first, just a reminder, if you want to ask questions or just confess your sins, put QQQ in the chat to remind me of that. And I'll get to it and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. I got back from my son's last night, and I had so totally forgotten about YouTube. Just enjoyed the little brief vacation from thinking about it all the time, that before I went to bed, like I usually do at night, I usually create the actual live stream for this morning, so it comes up. And then so many of you the night before chime into the chat and say hi, and my apologies to those of you who went looking for it and couldn't find it. And I woke up at about 4:15 this morning and sitting there, and all of a sudden it just dawned on me, hey, Mitch. I said, what? I said, you didn't create the live stream yet. So at around 4:30 or somewhere in there, I went in to the office and created the live streams both on YouTube and Rumble, and that's where we will start our good mornings to the early birds this morning with the first one. The first one, Peter, you're the winner this morning. And Peter says, good morning. And Peter at 4:50 a.m. was the first one in. So good to see you. Cliff Medina followed shortly after. Good morning, Lady June. How are you? Granny Boo. Now we're at 5:48. Terry Sue. Hiya, Terry. How you doing? Wayne Herman chimed in. And Nikki W. Hiya, Nikki. It's 6:26. So no insomniacs. No insomniacs today. Just those of us that are early risers. Couch Potatoes here. How you doing? Mark Booz, good to see you. Steve Studley was here at 6:55 a.m. Mike Seeley from Tampa chimed in, 7:19. Nikki W. again, and Nikki W. again. Rick from Miami, Charger Mopar. Good morning. Good morning, sir. How you doing? Good to see you. Sandy Blythe was here, 7:26, about an hour before we going live. And Mark's channel was here. Good to see you. Smoothie. Hiya, Smoothie says it's wet, 38 degrees here in Indiana. Good morning, all. It is in the very low 60s out here this morning, just a slight chill. But this evening, we have a private community live stream starting at 7 o'clock for you guys in the private community. We're going to have a panel. We're going to talk to each other. We're going to talk about the holidays. We're going to talk about everything else that comes up. I am going to do it from outside on the patio so I can join those of you who enjoy a fine cigar. It's going to be, according to the weather forecast, about 67, 68 degrees out here this evening. So it should be lovely, lovely for that. And I'm looking forward to that. And I always look forward to our little meeting Thursday evening, guys. Thursday evening. I got let me stop a second. I got a comment on a video yesterday, and it was from somebody that said, evidently pondering joining the private community. And he said, why should I join your private community? What perks do you offer? And I said to myself, have you ever heard me trying to sell people on joining our private community? Have you ever heard me pitch it on any of these things? I tell you to buy me a coffee. But have I ever chased down people to become members of this private community? And the answer is no. Do I go out of my way creating new and new perks to get people to join at higher and higher levels, spending more and more money each month? No. My attitude about our private community is, this is what it is. You get a copy of my book, which you can read or not, and I don't even brag about that. I just do it. It's there. There's a link to it in the description of every private community live stream. If you want to download my book and read it, you may not even enjoy it. And it's your way of showing a little bit of support for me, and that's something that you do because you want to, not because you're buying perks. And we have our private community live streams, which I think have become the highlight of all of our weeks, because the sense of community is worth more than $3.99 a month. And I felt like telling this person, maybe my private community isn't for you. If you're worried about, what am I going to get for my $4? It's not why I do this. It's not why I do this. And that's not why those of us that have been involved in this little adventure for a while are staying members. And those that don't see that they enjoy it or even pay attention to it, you should cancel it. Unless you figure that you get enough from me that it's worth $4 a month. Thank you. Thank you. I pay Amazon that much just not to see their frigging ads on the movies I watch on the channel that I'm supposed to get for free by spending $140 a year being a Prime member. $4 a month, for God's sakes. And people want to know, well, what's in it for me? Anyway, I answered that person back and I said, what you get is a private community live stream and a copy of my book. And that's all I said. And he'll probably, we'll see if he joins or not. We'll see. But I just wanted you to know that I am not here selling a private community. I don't pitch it constantly. I enjoy it because those of us that are here because we enjoy it and we get benefit out of it. It's not about the money. Not about the money. But that, I actually sat and thought for about 10 minutes, how do I want to answer this guy? You know, do I want to just blow him off? I'm certainly not going to write out a 6-paragraph pitch to try to get him as a member, because he would probably be very disappointed with it in the first place. Granny Boo 2, good morning to you. How you doing? Good to see you. And Mike Seeley Sr. was here. We're going to go on. We're going to go this till I get up to where the chat was 8:30. Declare a winner, and go on to a few things in my show notes. We have Richard Williams from Copper Hill, Tennessee, and Lucy Auerbach. How you doing, Lucy? Good morning from Chile, New Jersey. Enjoying hot coffee in my mug. Enjoying hot coffee in my mug. And Lucy, would this be the mug that you may be talking about? Oh, what a perfect opportunity. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you so much for sending me this yesterday. This is a picture of Lucy with her mug, and she enjoyed it so much for some strange reason. She told me she bought another one. Atta girl. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. At any rate, everybody, say hi to Lucy. It's so great. It's so great. And it does mean a lot to me when I finally get a chance to actually put faces to names, the names of people that so many of us have become great friends, and we don't even know each other's first names, some of us. We only know the YouTube handle. But that shows you how little you actually need to become friendly with people. It's amazing. So thank you, Lucy. Thanks for sending that picture, and I couldn't wait to show it off this morning. I was waiting until I saw your name in the chat. I had it queued up already, just so I could tell you I appreciated it. Hey, Michael. Michael Pregler's here. Good morning. How you doing from Dubuque, Iowa? Another beautiful day. Yes, it is, and it's a little overcast here, as the sun is not in my eyes, but it's supposed to be a nice day. Steve Studley chimed in. Good to see you, Steve. Jerry Hall, 5:30 from Kitchener, Canada. Good morning, 812. Edward Renner's here. How you doing? How you doing? And John Beatty Art, hey, from Daytona Beach. How you doing, John? I haven't seen you in a little while. This was me saying hi to the holiday survivors, and then everybody started saying hi to me. Turamir says, hello, boss, and asks me, how am I? And again, as usual, if I was any better, it would be illegal. The burning question of the morning, Tuka, my friend, is how are you? How are you? CB, good morning, Sheriff. CB Carmack from Alabama's here. How you doing, CB? And Lori's carnivore story, right a few minutes, says it's time. And yes, it was time, and I was sitting here watching that countdown clock so I could start this exactly 30 seconds before 8:30, trying to get as close to it as I could. Again, trying to be professional, and not do these things every morning where the thing comes up and after the countdown ends says, waiting for Old Guy Carnivore. Fortunately, I'm not that busy, like some of these other busy doctors on YouTube that might be smack in the middle of surgery at the time that they plan to live stream. And I don't have to face those challenges. James Ballou, how you doing, James? Good to see you. Good morning, everyone from Southern California. You, my friend, are an early riser. Good to see you. Stickman's Garage was here early, 8:28 a.m. And I see I've got 111 survivors in this chat already. Let me quick check out to see how I'm doing over on Rumble. I've got United Carnivore, Mike from Tampa, and Gary No Slow, good morning from Raleigh, North Carolina. And let me refresh this page and see if I am. Yes, I am indeed live on both YouTube and Rumble. I love it when a plan comes together, don't you? Don't you? I actually got a great night's sleep last night. I went to bed at about 9:45. I was tired. I've been up since well before the crack of dawn yesterday, and got back from my son's. I'll show you what we ate. And I slept straight through. And I woke up about, 20 after 4, something like that. And I kind of like that. I kind of like to be in bed before 10 o'clock. But Tuesday night always screws me up because what happens is I stay up I do my live stream until about 10 o'clock, and then it takes me an hour or two to unwind from that. I used up watching some of the replay, and by the time I get to bed, it's usually after midnight, and I get screwed up for the next day or two, but it's worth it. It's worth it. I enjoy it. And what does Stickman's Garage have to say to us? He says, the holidays are exhausting, and I haven't done anything. Yeah, I agree. And Lori and Tina. Hiya, Tina. How you doing? So I found out, remember yesterday I showed you that doctor's note? And I didn't know who it was from because it was just an email address I didn't recognize. The doctor's note where the doctor said, basically, wow, I'm very impressed with your great health and improvement and all that, but your cholesterol is the highest one I've seen in my medical career, and you need to be on a statin, which will reduce your risk of heart disease by 40%, which is utter and complete, absolute fraud and lies. That was Tina Schweiger. She sent me an email last night. letting me know that was her. So great, Tina. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad that you think your doctor is an idiot like I think your doctor's an idiot. And you didn't fall for that. You didn't fall for that. And if you could sit in your doctor's waiting room and do a little study of your own, for example. You sit in that waiting room, which has got to be pretty busy, with a little questionnaire, And the questionnaire would have one question on it. Has this doctor prescribed you a statin? Or maybe two questions, yes or no. And are you currently taking it, yes or no? And then on the back of the form, which nobody else can see, you have a little place to write down your assessment of this person's health by just looking at them, or maybe engaging in conversations. Well, are you a diabetic? You're getting forgetful, and find out about them. And then, especially about heart disease, if you had any heart disease. And then see, once you've interviewed a few of these people, and I know it'll be a lot of work to sit there, and I'm just talking hypothetically because nobody's going to do this, and I don't blame you. I wouldn't do it either. But I think you'd find out that most of the sickest of those people are those that are actually taking the doctor's advice and taking the statin. I can almost assuredly tell you that the biggest, fattest, most overweight, diabetic, heart disease-ridden, dementia candidates in there would be following their doctor's advice to the letter. Many of you may agree with me on that. My observations have shown me just that over the last, well before I became carnivore. All right, who was the first one in here? We're sneaking up Mama Bear at 8:29. Oh my God, Robbie, Autry, Danny in Boston. 8:29, Booby Goats, Aaron, how you doing? Good to see you from Middle Tennessee, 43 degrees. Wow, I thought it was warmer. Feeding your chickens, Aaron. You need to do something to feed those 10 children. Yes, my friends. We showed Booby's or Aaron's before and after pictures. Can you believe that woman has 10 children? 10 children. Wow, wow, wow. Good morning to you. And Steve Rogers, Captain America, superhero in the house. Good morning from Kansas City, Missouri. Good to see you. And when the hell are we going to get to 8:30? Holy cow, Terry Sue was in here at 8:29. Gary, no slow. And the winner this morning, Tuukka in Finland, in the middle of the friggin' night, people. Beat y'all. 8:30, right on the money, right on the money. Tuukka, you're the winner today. Be proud. Be proud. Your timing was impeccable. Francine Bourgeois chimed in mere milliseconds later. Sorry, Francine. Good morning. Good morning, meters from cold Montreal, Canada. Holy cow. Holy cow. 7 degrees. No, thank you. No, thank you. And we have made it. Well, we haven't made it past 8:30 yet. Ketra, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Feels good to be back to a regular day. And I'll feel even better when we get past New Year's Eve with all those parties that are going to tempt so many of you. If you're like me, stay home. Hide under your bed. Folks, it's amateur night, and I hope many of you aren't drinking because a lot of people get in a lot of trouble and cause a lot of trouble for other innocent people on New Year's Eve. I've always felt that way. I hate New Year's Eve parties. Bunch of drunk idiots. And being a non-drinker all my life, if you're drinking like the rest of them, you don't notice it. You're just chiming right in. Fred Wright also chimed in at 8:30. Wow, look at all the 8:30s. Tanya wants me to get her off work today. Okay, Tanya, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Tune me in on your cell phone. Take me to your boss. Kind of rewind it back to the point where I said, I don't care who you are. I told Tanya it was all right with me if she takes the rest of the day off. Okay, we got it? We straight on that? And you show him this. That's about the best I can do. Will it work? Not a chance. But that's about the best I can do. That's the best I can do, Tanya. Thanks. And let's see who else we got at 8:30 here. 8:30, Tammy, Terry Sue, Lori, Mark's channel, Lori, 8:30. Mark Whistler. Hi, Mark. Good morning to you. How you doing? He says, morning, everyone. And finally, we got to he's the last of the 8:30s, and Fred Wright chimed in at 8:31. Hi, Fred. How you doing? And a real quick hello to Lat. And let me see, Lorraine Borneo, good morning to you. Mark Booth, how you doing? Good to see you, Mark. And I think we'll pick it up later looking for questions. So put QQQ in the chat if you would. Okay, my friends, Moorhen chimed in there, and I'm going to leave it there at Moorhen. Already wasted 20. Holy cow. How the hell did I spend 25 minutes doing that? And I'm not, we're going to go long today, guys. So no rush, however long it takes. I've already decided that I'm going to coast through the day until the live stream tonight. I'm not going to try to shoot or edit a video and get it out this afternoon. Because 2 things a day is enough from me, even if they're not videos. So we got time here, and I'll sit here. I don't want to rush myself and go crazy. And if you hang in there with me, I'll be here. And if I see you start to dwindle down in numbers, I'll know you're getting tired of it, and I'll try to bring it to an end. But just seems sometimes in the morning that 1 hour is just nowhere near enough. Our Carboholics Anonymous meetings sometimes need to go a little longer. Okay, let me get my show notes out here. Got a couple of things I wanted to talk. Somebody bought me a coffee. Steve Rogers bought a coffee. Thank you, Steve, so much. Appreciate it. And very timely, because I was just about to throw my link in the chat. I'm not going to give you a big sales pitch about it. I'm just going to throw the link in there, and if you feel like you want to say thanks, Mitch, and I'm doing something, and you enjoy what I'm doing, and you feel like every once in a while, it doesn't have to be every day. In fact, I would not like to see the same person doing it every day. I appreciate you. I'll put a link here, and I'll put it in, every so often in the chat so that so you don't forget it. And before I get started with the show notes, I'm playing 3 different songs at the same time here. That's very confusing. There you go. I like buttons, but sometimes you get too many buttons pressed at the same time. Little happy music for you. Start off the pre-holiday back to work. Hopefully it'll cheer you up a little bit. And you'll excuse me while I light my cigar. Okay. Following a cigar, sip of coffee. 136 of you. A brief scratch the itch. And let's get down to it. Show notes. Here we go. Show notes. Okay. What does it say here? Show Lucy's photo. I did that. I did that. That was great. Now, what did Mitch do for dinner last night on Christmas? The burning question. The burning question. Inquiring minds want to know. Well, I'm about to show you. I'm about to show you because I've been talking about this. And let me go over here and holy cow, where is what I'm looking for? Here it is. Because I have been talking about my son's Ronco rotisserie. And the fact that the best prime rib I've ever eaten in my life anywhere, at any time, comes out of this stupid machine, invented and sold by Ron Popeil, a name we all know and love if we're more than 10 years old, inventor of the famous Popeil pocket fisherman, and the cover your bald spot with spray paint stuff for bald people. This, my friends, I think was one of his crowning achievements of his entire career. And this guy invented a lot of stuff and made a fortune under either the name Ronco, which is Ron Popeil, or Popeil. And this happens to be the famous machine itself. And this is what came out of it. Look at that. Cutting the strings off. That's my son in his new t-shirt. It's the most wonderful time for a cigar. My sentiments exactly. And here he is carving it up, and it was fabulous. That, my friends, was my dinner. It was about an inch or more thick. It had a big, beautiful cap on it, which was delicious. It had just the right burnt ends, burnt parts, which the flavor was outrageous. All he put on it was garlic salt, so it had a little garlic in it. But that was my dinner. And after dinner, we adjourned out to his backyard, and that's my grandson there, and he started building a fire because it did cool off out there, and we sat out there, and that's where my son lives, man. It doesn't suck. That's all I can tell you. It does not suck to live in a setting like that. That's the Intercoastal Waterway. It's 1 mile wide. When you look across that waterway at the shore, it's a mile away. And the only disadvantage is that's facing east, and the wind comes from the east, so it usually gets windy and chilly. And I was wearing the same sweatshirt last night, but I didn't have my knit cap with me, but I had the hood. And we built this fire, and we sat around and smoked cigars and talked about everything and had just a fabulous evening. Just a fabulous evening. So I don't get out much. But when I do get out, my friends, I try to make the best of it. So that was what I did. That's what I did last night. That's what I did last night. I don't know if you enjoyed seeing that or not, but I just wanted to show you. That was Mitch's Christmas dinner. And I was very proud of my family because they did have some side dishes. Because my grandchildren are not carnivore. My daughter-in-law's not carnivore. My son tries, but he hasn't done so well this holiday season yet. And they did have some roasted Brussels sprouts, but not a whole lot, and a small amount of some kind of potatoes they cooked up. But that plate with that one piece of meat on it was all that I ate, and more than enough for me. And there was plenty left over, and I hit that satiety point, and I just didn't want to eat anymore. And that's the thing I love the best about this, is there's no tendency to overeat because you just don't want to. And of course, no dessert other than a cigar with my son, which is something I treasure. I treasure the time. When I go over to his house, we sit out there by the, well, they call it a river. It's the Indian River, but it's the intercoastal water. We sit out by the river. And if it's a warmer day, we may even go out and sit out on the edge of the dock there. He's got some Adirondack chairs out there, and we sit, smoke a cigar, and solve all the world's problems like most of us do when we talk with our friends or family. Now, one other thing I wanted to talk about today, then I'll start looking for questions. I think I saw that some coffees were bought, and let me see. We have. Mark Whistler bought me a coffee. Thank you, says Happy Hanukkah. Thank you so much, Mark. Very nice of you. Terry girl bought me a coffee. Thanks, Mitch, for being our constant and consistent info provider. And thank you. It is absolutely and always will be my pleasure. It will be my pleasure. I enjoy doing this every morning. I really do. I really do. Let's see, where was I? I have one more thing I just want to show you, and it's an article here that said something that I found a little bit encouraging, which really surprised me. And let me try to find it. No, that's not what I wanted. What happened? Okay, well, we'll start here. I had it all picked out, and then I hit the wrong thing. Anyway, this is from a publication called Medical News Today. I think they're more a shill for their advertisers. I don't think they really focus on real medical news. I think they highlight all of these studies and different things that just gives them an excuse to advertise. And today, featured stories, brain health, sleep, diet, 3 resolutions for 2020-25. Study identifies 11 strong predictors for dementia. Vitamin D may not prevent fractures or falls in older adults, experts say. But at any rate, the one that I read this morning, not getting enough magnesium could affect cardiovascular. I mean, these are stories that could or could not be legitimate, but I decided to tune into this story. 3 things. So the first thing they talk about is sleep. And yeah, they said sleep is good. So let me get past all this research about sleep. Then they give you a weight loss quiz. Then they give you advertisements. Then they give you 15 advertisements for all of these things. Amazon One Medical, great for a modern approach to healthcare. Board-certified nutritionists near you to tell you not to eat meat. Huel, easiest way to make a high-protein meal. Wello's, great for regaining. These are all subscription services that you have to sign up for and pay $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 a month. Noom, a lot of people have heard of that. Great for sustainable weight loss. So you got to get through all those advertisements. Now, here we go. We finally get down to it. In conversation, what makes a diet truly heart healthy? And they talk about 2 nutrition studies recently made the headlines when they sounded alarm bells regarding the impact of dietary choices on heart health. What are the ingredients of a true heart healthy diet? And if I wanted to know that, I guarantee you, my friends, this is the place I would come. You remember, I do have a T-shirt that says that I am not only a member, but I consider myself the president of the National Sarcastic Society. Which foods should we avoid and why we want to lower our risk of cardiovascular disease? This podcast episode finds answers, and I'm supposed to watch the podcast, but no. I'm going to read on. In April 2024, 2 nutritional studies made the headlines, emphasizing the critical impact. Now, this is the one I wanted to let you know about. It's the only thing out of all the shit that I read on this website and all the ads that I had to endure to get to this. It's the only thing that showed me the first bit of actual Fact. And I was dumbfounded, and I thought, I need to tell this to my friends. This study appeared in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. I have no idea what kind of rag that is, on April the 8th. So it was only 3/4 of a year ago. Surely we've all heard about this now, haven't we? I mean, this study came out 8 months ago. Surely on the mainstream media, they would be headlining the results of this study, don't you think? No. Nobody's heard of it. Why? It involved 89 adults who were at risk for type 2 diabetes, and it made a finding that might, I love this part, at first sound surprising. Oh my God. Namely, that eating, burn this into your memory, people, to use in these comebacks about how bad red meat is for you. Because if this statement makes it into a rag like this, they can't find a way to dispute it. That eating plant-based meat substitutes offered no significant benefits to heart health over actual animal meat. I read that and I said, holy cow, somebody put that in print. That Beyond Burgers and all that soy-based crap, or even that lab-grown meat, offers no benefits to cardiovascular health than actual real meat. Well, read between the lines, people. Read between the lines. That means that eating real meat causes no cardiovascular problems. And if it causes no cardiovascular problems, then nothing can be better than that. And you can make that statement not only about plant-based meats, but about every fruit and veggie and grain on the planet Earth. You can say that eating fruits and eating vegetables and eating grains and eating processed foods and eating ultra-processed foods showed no significant benefit to heart health over actual animal meat. Holy cow. The significance of that shatters the entire narrative of our entire medical community, and we haven't heard a peep about this anywhere. And if I hadn't have been trolling for nonsense, which is what I do when I look at this site, I never would have found it either. And I thought that that was incredibly important to us, to keep us from worrying about everything that they tell us eating all this red meat and saturated fat is going to do to our kidneys, to our hearts, to our brains, to our risk of getting diabetes. None of it is true. It's all bullshit. I thought that, my friends, would be worth a few minutes to bring to your attention. And I really hope that I'm not reading something into that I don't think is really being said between the lines. And I hope you agree with me. So I hope you enjoyed that little bit of news. And I thought it was really, really, really worth it. And put that in your little kit bag of things, of comebacks for these medical professionals that keep telling you just the opposite. Just the opposite. I'm still looking, however, for the really big one, and I haven't seen that anywhere. And that is that a high LDL is not a risk factor for heart disease. I mean, I've heard it in our community over and over and over again, but I'm looking for some kind of a publication like that, Medical News Today. Once they admit it, it's all over. But again, sadly, who reads that? Whoever hears about those studies? the only efforts that are made are efforts to quash those and keep them out of the public knowledge. So I'm going to start looking for questions right now after I relight my cigar, which went out because I talk too much. Yes, yes, and of course, continue drinking it if you still have it. Well, I think right now, folks, I'm officially further behind in the chat than I have ever been in the history of this particular morning live stream. But that's okay. That's okay, because I have 140-something people watching here. How about over on Rumble? And I'm in no hurry today. More to Life chimed in over there. How you doing? Good to see you. But nobody's watching on Rumble this morning. One person. I'm so disappointed in Rumble. I thought maybe I'll get a little following over there. Those people aren't interested. I'm sorry. I know Ken Berry's over there, but they're interested in two things on Rumble, unfortunately, at this point. They're interested in political stuff. So you've got Dan Bongino and you've got all the, political people who are over there because they can't be on YouTube. They've been demonetized, censored, or completely deleted. And they've attracted millions of people to Rumble, but those millions of people are not interested in carnivore diet. Ken Berry puts his stuff up there just as a safety thing in case he gets thrown off of YouTube someday. And that's why I did it, for the same reason. Shame we have to live like that, worried about, the fact that they think we're criminals and we're only good here until they find out that we're spreading so much disinformation that the World Health Organization wants to jam down our throat, turn us into criminals. So I'm over on Rumble, and I thought, well, let me start streaming over there and see. But the only people that watch me on Rumble are those people that are also watching me on YouTube. I've picked up, I don't know, since I started streaming on Rumble, maybe 20, 30 subscribers over there. It's terrible. There's no money. The grand total of money I've made in the last 3 months or 4 months that I've been doing this stuff on Rumble, the grand total is $30-something. I haven't even made enough money on Rumble because they have a $50 minimum before they'll send you money, before I can actually cash out. So I'm still waiting to get to my first $50 earnings on Rumble for all the work I do. It's stupid. It's stupid. It is not an alternative at this point because the two people, the political people and the other people that built Rumble are people that put out silly cat videos and stuff like that, and they get a lot of people get a lot of views on people that like to watch. It's kind of like the TikTok stuff, it's not serious, and there is no, right now, there is no, or at least they're not letting people know or pushing my stuff out to anybody other than the small group of people or the small group of subscribers that I already have. So they're not doing me any favors. But I keep doing it, and I will keep doing it. We'll see. Doesn't cost me any extra money, so I keep doing it. But I'm going to start looking for questions here, saying hi to people that I haven't said hi to yet. DS111, good morning to you. End of the year's rough. Construction slows down. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, then my daughter's birthday. Wow. Well, tough your way through it, I hope. I hope you get through it. And look at this. Look at this. My old friend Spike, Spike, from Western Australia. Spike is indescribable. Spike is an old friend from the drone community. Used to come into my live stream. He's a wild man. He's a biker, an old fart retired biker over there in Australia who's a drone pilot, and he puts on wild live streams with country music and all kinds of biker gang stuff and drone stuff, and he's just the greatest, coolest guy And I love him. I love him to death. And every once in a while, and I tune into his channel every once in a while, and he's rebuilding his studio. He has a big studio out in his garage barn building there, and he keeps rebuilding it, making it better and more professional with more lighting and more gadgets. And the last I tuned into Spike, he was in the process of saying he's coming back. And I hope he does, because I miss him. But he's in here, and he checks me out every once in a while, and he calls me Uncle Mitch. He calls me Uncle Mitch, and one of those guys, you know, that when you look back at your life and say, who are the favorite characters, and character's the operative word, who are the favorite characters that I met? I'd have to number Spike among the top 3 or 4. He's just, I love you, Spike. If you're still here, I love you. I know you were in at 8:30, and it's way past that now, but thanks for coming in, man. Thanks for coming in. And Aaron has a question. Mitch, what do you think about coffee with chicory in it? I got a can for Christmas. I don't think the chicory is going to hurt you. It's just I don't think there's enough of anything in chicory to provide any poisons or nutrients that might even affect you in the slightest bit. It's like, I had the same question about somebody asked, what do I think of like hazelnut coffee? Well, there's no sugar in it. And just got to look and make sure there's, you know, they have an ingredients label on it. They don't, it doesn't have, 20 grams of maltodextrin thrown in there. 20 milligrams. 20 grams of maltodextrin would be, a bagful. But, yeah, I would just check it out. I would, Aaron, go ahead. Go ahead. You might not even like it when you try it, but I can't see where that's bad, unless you see an ingredients list that has unpronounceable things that you've never heard of. That scares me more than anything. Looking for questions. And I'm so far behind right now. iSpike says QQQ. Well, Spike follows orders. I was right about the time I said, put QQQ in the chat. So he did. Oh, man, that almost made my day seeing you here, Spike. iSpike is saying hi to everybody. And I'm telling you what, he's got a channel. It's called iSpike. If you guys just want to go down a road you've never been down before and need a little something to divert your attention from this, oh, man, just go back and watch some of Spike's stuff. He's got a ton of it out there. And you'll either love him or you'll say, wow, who the hell is this clown? But go watch that stuff. Spike, I'm going to try to send some people your way. Take care of my people there, will you? B-Matt chimed in. Good morning, Matt. How you doing? Good to see you. And Scott Elliott is Colorado Springs. Everybody's saying good mornings. And iSpike says, yes, it's 9:40 p.m. in Western Australia. Always way ahead of us. Steve Studley, good morning. Good morning to you. And we have Robbie Autry checked in. I think I may have said hi to you before. And I'm looking for some questions. Danny in Boston is here. Rainy Cascadia. Wow. What a name. Rainy Cascadia. Cool sounding name. Good morning, all. Good morning. Peter's chiming up a storm. Haven't seen Ellen yet. Probably sleeping off Christmas dinner. And here comes Tuka. Tuka says, the $4 a month I spend for YouTube is the only money I ever pay for the censorship, but I want to support Mitch if I can. Tuka, you do. And it's not just the $4, Tuka. You support me in many, many ways, just by participating in this community, coming into the live chats. And we all love you, and you know that. You even sing for us sometimes. It's worth a lot. It's worth a lot. Thanks. You always have my thanks for that. Marla. Hey, Marla Kelly, good morning here. Marla here, good morning, Mitch, and all meat eaters out there. Yes. And Aaron is reminding, Peter must have asked a question, and I skipped over it because I had already said good morning to Peter, and I'm looking for questions. And Peter, you forgot your QQQ. Ha ha. This is Gary. I remember his name now. Gary from Is No Slow. And Tammy. Hey, Tammy, how you doing? I feel that being here listening to Mitch is all the therapy and community that I need. Love Mitch and love all of you. Tammy, and we love you too. And thanks so much for being. You've been around with us for almost since the beginning. Almost since the beginning when I was trying to figure out how to pronounce your last name. Remember that? Remember that? And the beginning, believe it or not, keeps fading further and further in the distance. The beginning of my carnivore YouTube adventure was August 1st, which is almost a year and a half ago now, 1 month away from a year and a half ago. And it seems like just yesterday. And I just had my channel's 6th birthday because I started the drone thing back in 2018. And I can't believe it's been that long. Terry Sue says, I have mugshots. And who is this? Peter. Peter chimes in, $4 a month to have a double A style Carboholics Anonymous group of like-minded people trying their hardest to stay on plan and be their healthiest and best. Sounds like a great deal to me. I hope so, Peter. I try to make it worthwhile. I don't, when somebody doesn't re-up on it, I don't think any the less of you. Please believe me. Please believe me. I don't think any the less. I try to, everything that I say is available to anyone without any charge whatsoever entitled to it. And if you feel like supporting me, you know how. This is how. There we go. What did I do? Did I put the right thing in the chat? Or did I, hang on a second. Or did I put something else in the chat? Hang on, I got my screens all screwed up from showing you that stuff. Yes, I put the Buy Me a Coffee link in there. Thank you, Peter. Thank you for that. I said hi to Lori. It's Peter, Robbie Outtree. Papa Carnivore said, oops, answering the omission of the QQQs. Lizzie's here. Good morning, Lizzie. How you doing? Good to see you this morning. And Peter says, best fuck $4 I ever spent. Thank you, Peter. Francine. Another Francine. Monteleone. Wow, we have such French-sounding Francines here. We have Francine Bourgeois. And here we have Francine Monteleone, who lives in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Are you anywhere close? She's asking Lucy. Good morning, Francine. Pursuing better health. I have not seen that name before. Welcome, welcome. Your pitch for the group is speaking to me. Well, thank you, Peter. I appreciate that. John Bassett's here, says good morning. Good morning, John. How you doing? And I'm still cruising for questions. I am, holy cow, I am still 45 minutes behind. And I'm almost ready when I get to the point, oh, here you go, I found one. Okay, and DS111 says, my blowhard friend who will contest anything with anybody, and to me, he likes having gas and flatulence. I say having that is mostly a bad reaction to food. Do you agree? Well, of course it is. People don't have flatulence. People don't have flatulence. Microbiome bacteria have flatulence. And they fart their little brains out down there in our colon. And pretty soon, our colon blows up like a balloon. Now, I'm sure fermenting foods also give off gas because that's little bacteria. That's what fermenting is. That's a particular strain of bacteria that eats one thing and farts out or craps out another. That's how it works. That's how yeast makes bread rise. Think about that. Why does bread rise? Because it has air bubbles. And the air bubbles are trapped in the dough when you bake it, leaves air-filled holes in the dough. Makes for fluffy bread. But as the air bubbles get bigger, the bread has to expand and rise to accommodate it. Well, what's inside those bubbles is bacteria farts. I'm sorry, guys. You may never eat another piece of bread again, because it's bacteria farts that are filling up. You've never heard anybody say that before. I know it. I've never heard anybody say it. That's what makes bread rise. It's bacteria farts, and that's what gives you gas. And if you want gas, tell your friend. Tell your friend if they want gas. More power to them. We cannot convince our friends to do anything they don't want to do. So, the more you try to convince loved ones and friends that they're not doing a good thing, the more they will alienate you until you no longer have loved ones and friends. That's the sad truth. Their addictions, believe me, will let them rationalize any excuse to keep doing what they're doing. They'll tell you, I'd rather have cancer than go on your diet. And they'll mean it to themselves. Their subconscious mind has negotiated that answer to come out of their mouth. And they don't even realize how stupid that sounds. Just so their addiction can continue to be met. And we've all heard stupid excuses coming from people, not only about carb addiction, but drug addiction, alcohol addiction, and every other kind of addiction too. So, yes, it's a shame, but that's how people are. And Tuka's doing great. Well, thank you for answering my question, Tuka. I appreciate it. See, if I'm not really hurrying so much, all I can ask you guys is I would appreciate it. It's 9:30 now. If you haven't asked your question yet, save it for tomorrow morning. That way I'll continue to catch up and won't continue to get further and further behind. Denise Kink. Good morning, Mitch and everyone. Good morning to you, Denise. Good to see you. And now we get to the point where some people may get bored, but I will find some other questions. But I've already been talking for an hour. And now I'm like the comedian doing a second set. It's gratis. It's an encore. Don't be too hard on me. Looking for questions, looking for somebody I haven't said hi to yet. I do see it, I will say it, that Kevin Decker just joined the private community. Welcome, Kevin. You picked the perfect day because tonight is the private community live stream. Come on in and join us, and if you garner the courage and aren't too stage shy, chime in and introduce yourself. Let us meet face to face. Put a face with a name. I have to read this one just the way it started out. DS-111, the biggest, fattest, most overweight diabetic, heart disease-ridden candidates. Where have I heard that before? Oh, yeah. That's how I describe these people. Would be following their doctor's advice to the letter. And he quoted me. Yeah, that quote ought to go down in history. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging it. That's a hell of an observation, I think. I didn't realize it at the time I said it, how profound and timeless that could become if it became adopted by virtually everybody as their favorite saying of the day. And thank you for noticing that. Thank you. Very flattering. Very flattering. And we have, Tanya says, embracing it. Yes, Tanya, how you doing? Lizzie's laughing. Scott Elliott is here. Hi, Scott. How you doing? And looking for. Oh, I'm to 8. I'm almost to like 5 minutes to 9 in the chat. Thank you, Steve. Steve Rogers says, morning coffee with Mitch and his misfits. You hear what he called us? He called us a band of misfits. He's absolutely right. Society considers us lunatics. I've already embraced that and proudly wear whatever armband they would want me to wear, proclaiming myself an anti-establishment lunatic. So yes, welcome. Thank you, Steve, for pointing that out. Retired Rick chimed in. Good morning, Rick. How you doing? Good to see you. Who is this? Denise Kink. Yes, we said hi to you. We said hi to you. And here's Chris. We showed Chris's before and afters yesterday. Man, what a job, Chris. What a job, Chris. Welcome. Good to see you this morning. Going to my sister's tomorrow for Christmas. They all know what I'm doing. And it won't be a problem, and you won't let it be a problem, because you've been doing it long enough, I think, where you probably got it nailed. And that's what happens when you do this long enough. It no longer becomes an issue. Your carb addiction will fade into your past, but it's still asleep, waiting to be woken up at any minute. So let it sleep. Not even a bite. Don't test it. I won't test it. I'm afraid to test it. I don't ever think about that stuff. That stuff has no appeal to me now. And yet I still don't want to know if I'm still that flaming a carb addict. I'd rather not know and enjoy the peace and tranquility and freedom from the influence of the addictive crap these people are fostering on us. I would rather just avoid it completely and not take even the slightest little bit of a chance. Well, I keep clicking on your name because when it comes up, I don't recognize it. Because it's green. You're in the private community, but it makes it a little harder to read on the screen for me. Cabby's here, says morning. Hi, Cabby. So I'm looking for questions. William McCartney. I think I said hi to you, but that was 100 years ago. Maybe not, because everybody's saying hi to you now. So maybe you just chimed in. Michael Pregler says, hit the thumbs up. Thank you. And here is Touramere says, how do I become wise like you? Well, I've been accused of being a wise guy. Is that what you mean? Forget about it. Thank you. Thank you. That's a compliment in disguise. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Just question everything, Touramere. Tuka, question everything. Don't take anything at face value. Always, always look for reality. Always require that anything that you see or hear not only makes sense, but fits in with everything else that you have previously declared to yourself also makes sense. Then you will have a big picture develop in your mind that can't be disputed by anybody. But the filter that you have to apply to everything that you may want to add to your big picture view of actual reality and fact is that filter. Is it, as far as I can tell, the truth? And does it fit in this huge puzzle? Or is there something that it conflicts with? At that point in time, if you want to become wise, you need to resolve that conflict and figure out which is the real thing, either what I used to believe or what I just found out. And if it's something you used to believe, this is the key point. Like so many medical doctors and people today, when they find out that everything they believed is bogus, when these doctors wake up and believe they're killing their patients like Ken Berry did 10 years ago, and that conflict in your mind gets to the forefront and you begin to ask yourself, wow, shocking to find out everything I believed was wrong. At that point, you have to sacrifice everything if your career was built on that misinformation, if your reputation was built on that misinformation, you have to be honest enough with yourself, like Ken Berry was, and say, I can't do that anymore, even though it'll upend my entire life. I can't do that anymore because I just found out I was wrong, and you need to shout it to the world. I'm sorry. And all of you have heard Ken apologize to all of his old patients. Time and time again, I'm so sorry I misled you and caused any problems for you. But I have consequently found out, done my due diligence, and I'm going to advise you this way from here on out. Not 1 out of 100 people who have a reputation or income based on crap that's come out of their mouth will ever have the balls to do that. I have the balls to do that. And that, my friend, is how you become wise and not part of the propaganda establishment. I bet you didn't expect that answer to that question, did you? Little soul cleansing moment for Mitch here. Mandy Bedoz. Hi, Mandy. How you doing? Yes, one of the cigar flute. Yeah, there's no holes in it. It reminds me of a dirty joke, which I won't tell. Maybe tonight. Remind me tonight. Just say the word flute and remind me of the dirty joke I was thinking of. That's funny. Question from Denise Kink. How long does it take to smoke the whole cigar? This cigar, if I never let it go out. See, a cigar will go out if you depending on the cigar and how dry or humid it is and everything, some of them can actually burn for quite a while. They're a little on the dry side. If they're properly humidified, like I think this one is, you don't take a puff in 2 or 3 minutes. It just goes out. There's no chemicals in cigars. There's no chemicals like cigarettes have chemicals to keep them burning even if you're not puffing on them. That's why cigars, if you put them down, cigarettes in an ashtray, will burn right down to the filter. A cigar, as you can see, I've lit this thing twice, maybe 3 times already, and it still looks like it has never been smoked. But if I, normally in a case, it might take me 2 hours or more to smoke this cigar. Cigar smokers never grab a smoke like cigarette smokers. Let me go grab a smoke. You don't grab a smoke. You get out your cell phone, you go to your calendar, and you block aside a couple hour block of time if you want to enjoy a cigar, which we don't inhale. And I did get another one of those cigar comments from a very well-meaning person. I appreciated her concern. Somebody I'd never heard of, don't know. Obviously never watched, just had probably just found me. Well, maybe the first live stream she watched, I lit up the cigar and she was astounded, beside herself. And she wrote, I love your channel, Mitch. Your information is great. But I'm very concerned about you, she says. She was very concerned, and I think she meant it. And then she went on to tell me how her mother was a smoker and died of, and she went on and listed all these horrible things that happened to her mother. And of course, she attributed it to the smoking. And maybe not her diet or any other things, but it was a smoking's fault. And her mother was a cigarette smoker, so God knows her mother probably started smoking at the age of 18 or 15. Probably ended up with a 2 to 3 pack a day habit, sucked those things down, probably had a voice 3 times deeper than mine, probably had a crap diet, probably was a diabetic, probably had heart disease, probably had dementia, but the cigarettes killed her mother, so I shouldn't smoke cigars. So I answered her. I say, well, thanks for your concern, but cigars are not inhaled. I put that in capital letters. And then I said, I have never smoked a cigarette in my life, and left it at that. So I'll probably never hear from her again. But I didn't want to insult her. But that's the thing about cigars. They are not cigarettes. They are not cigarettes. They don't, not only don't they have all the toxic chemicals that cigarettes have, but we don't take them into our lungs. And I offer as proof of the fact that physiologically I am not being harmed by smoking these cigars. I offer my voice as proof. My voice. My voice! Which is the same as it was when I was 18 years old. And if you ever talk to a person who has been smoking cigarettes for 40 years, they have a voice like this. Their vocal cords are shot. Why are their vocal cords shot? Because they've been dragging toxic smoke across them for 40 years. Women, same way. It's called smoker's voice. You can tell in a minute if a woman was a heavy smoker, even if she quit. She sounds like a man. I sound like a 20-year-old kid with a high voice. My vocal cords have had no damage whatsoever from 55 years of smoking these things. That's enough to convince me that it's not harming me or my body or my physiology in any way. I'm tired of saying that. I don't need anybody's approval to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And it's a shame that people who need to hear the things that I say and need the support that they get here or can get here on this channel are so narrow-minded that because they see me with a cigar in my hand, they immediately form an opinion of me, of being an old fool who doesn't care about his health. Jeez, that's frustrating. But there's no way in hell I'm going to stop. It's who I am. It's the one thing that I get a little relaxing pleasure out of in life anymore. And I'm already almost 78 years old. How old the hell do I have to be before I can stop worrying about dying? Unbelievable. Obviously, you can tell I'm very passionate about this. But the most passion is because nobody has a right to tell me what to do. And if they want to ignore me, just go away. But don't tell me about it. Because by telling me that you know more than I do, that you know these things are dangerous and I don't think they are, that you're smarter than me, I don't need to hear that. Maybe you are smarter than me. Maybe these things are dangerous. Maybe I'll drop one day and set my house on fire. Who knows? But that's the most likely way I'm about to be injured from a cigar. Well, one day if you tune in and you see the foam on top of this microphone thing flaming, and I burn my nose, then I would have had some damage from smoking this cigar. And thank you, people, for hanging in with me while I rant a little bit. You know, a rant is like a good sneeze, man. It just clears things out. Okay, where was I? Falling further and further behind. I am up to 9 o'clock in the chat. I am still 45 minutes behind. Okay, my friends, if I ever want to get out of here, I need to start cruising for questions. But I said, when it gets to be 9:30, stop asking questions. So I'm going to run down here real quick. I'm going to assume that everybody that's new, that came in, I still haven't seen Ellen in here this morning. Ellen probably had a wild party or something last night and slept in. I'm looking for questions. Here we go. Here's a question from DS111. I have memories of talking too much in the past and blame it on eating carbohydrates and drinking sugar. Do you have memories like that? It's a funny question, DS111. Not only do I have memories of talking too much, I still talk too much. I don't think carnivore has changed that one little bit. Now, maybe with all the sugar, I was a little more nervous, but that's always been, I don't want to say a problem of mine, but a trait of mine. And I've been told many times that I don't keep secrets. A lot of people tell me I'm the most honest human being to a fault. that they ever met, and whatever's on my mind, it just flies out of my mouth. I don't even think about whether I should say things. Whatever I feel at the time, and somebody's listening, out it comes. Out it comes. It's not the greatest trait to have, but it is who I am, so what am I going to do? I've learned to love myself and accept everything, every fault that I have, and acknowledge that, yes, I have a lot of faults, and I know what they are, and I don't hide from them, and I'll admit to them. Wouldn't it be great if everybody did that? You know, a crook came up to you to rob you for your wallet, and you look at the guy and say, "Are you a crook? Are you here to steal my wallet?" And he would say, "Yes, I am." You know, it'd be nice to see have a little honesty now and then. Here's an interesting comment. Bill Cook says, if I had heard of carnivore 20 years ago, I would never have done it back then. Yeah, most of us wouldn't. There wasn't certainly the amount of convincing evidence that it is the right thing to do. The closest to this diet 20 years ago were low-carb diets. Even keto wasn't a thing. It was a low-carb. It was, you know, started with Atkins, went to the zone and the paleo, Mediterranean, and all these other diets. So yeah, I agree. I didn't do it either. I was on all those other diets, and if somebody had said, okay, you got to give up everything but meat, I would have said, what, are you crazy? No, I agree. It's absolutely true. Absolutely. Okay, I'm at 9:12 now. We're catching up. Here's a question from Lat. And Lat says, does it count as a carnivore conversion if my OH made his first, what is an OH? Made his first sandwich today after 30 years vegetarian? Oh, a carnivore conversion? No, I don't think you could call that any person who eats a sandwich on bread a carnivore, but it's a hell. It is one hell of, let's call it, dipping your toe in the water after 30 years of hydrophobia, and a step in the right direction. And you're probably doing your friend a big favor not to push him or her too quick, too fast, but to let them overcome 30 years of what was an ideology for them and do it at their own pace with you encouraging them all the way. That's great. That's great. When a vegan eats a sandwich, and I assume with meat in it, it's a big step, especially a 30-year vegan. And I would assume that your vegan friend is having some health problems, or else he wouldn't have eaten that meat. And the fact that you're doing it, you're setting an example for that person. Thanks for bringing that up. It's a very, very, very good point. Here's somebody I hadn't seen before named Sal. Hi, Sal. How you doing? Let's see here. What else we got? We're looking for questions down to 9:18. I gotta tell you, I gotta have the chattiest bunch of people in the whole world. Anybody chatting over on Rumble? Anybody else show up over there? Yeah, a few people. Got 18 people in Rumble. What happened? More to Life, M-O-H-R, to Life, is over there. It says, good morning all. Wow, what happened to Rumble? Last time I looked, there was nobody, was one person watching. Now I got 15. Holy cow. Question. Will you lit up that cigar again, says Tuka. Yes, I will continue to relight it. And I will continue, as long as you're still around, to put my Buy Me a Coffee link in the chat. And speaking of that, I heard the phone go ding a couple times. Let me acknowledge Carnivorous Cat Mom bought me a coffee. Thank you. Thank you so much, Carnivorous Cat Mom. I appreciate that. Her message from one recovering carbaholic. to another. And maybe if we all started actually using that terminology, think about this. We started referring to ourselves as a recovering carboholic and started telling people when they try to jam food in our faces, instead of just saying no, take a clue from the alcoholic's playbook. I'm sorry, I'd love to, but I'm a recovering alcoholic. And people will back off in an instant. Maybe we ought to start. That's a great idea. I'm going to start doing that. I've never done it. But anybody offers me something, I say, listen, I'd love to have that. Thank you so much for offering, but I'm a recovering carboholic. Now, they won't know what the hell a carboholic even means, but the fact that you're recovering from it, they will honor that, and they will probably apologize for even offering it. What a great, great, great tactic. Wow. And thank you. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Wow, epiphany moment here. What a comeback. Why didn't I think of that? I'm sorry. Thanks so much for offering. I'd love to, but I'm a recovering carboholic. And you do a lot of things in that one simple statement. Number one, you've gotten them to go away and stop tempting you. And you've thrown a term in the world that they never heard before. Carboholic. Because that's the only thing that's ever going to solve this problem long term. And that is public awareness of carb addiction, which we don't get. It should be the number one problem on everybody's mind. It should be the most talked about thing in this country. It would solve every health problem. If people started learning that they were carboholics and learning different ways and methods that they could treat it and reverse it. We're nowhere near the point where that will happen. Good point. Really cool. Here we have, how do you pronounce that? Mugavero Chiropractic. Wow. A chiropractor. Welcome. Question. Been strict carnivore for 5 weeks. My teeth and gums feel brand new. Is that common? Hell yes. Hell yes. That is a and congratulations and welcome. Welcome to this fringe bunch of lunatics who fly in the face of the medical community and all. And I think the chiropractors are the ones leading this diet revolution in the medical community, and that's why they think you're all quacks. And it's unfortunate because there's a lot of good carnivore influencers that are chiropractors and are talking about nutrition and non-prescription or surgical fixes for all of the things wrong with people. So congratulations for that, my friend. Or should I call you doctor, my friend? And welcome. But yes, along with basically obliterating. Now, of course, you still got to take care of your teeth. You got to brush them. I water pick them. I brush them. I take care of all that, even though they're stained from cigars and coffee. They're the healthiest in my life. My teeth are the best. I'm 77 and a half years old, and my teeth are stronger and better, and my gums are healthier than they have ever been. One of the reasons for that is your oral microbiome. Microbiomes are everywhere on us. Every square inch of skin has its own little colony of dedicated bacteria that keep carnivores from stinking. One other thing you'll notice after you've been a carnivore for a while, that you will no longer have body odor because your microbiome, the different strains that make up these different microbiomes that live in us and on us, will become the proper microbiomes nourished by the proper nourishment of meat and animal products. The oral microbiome, with its raft of sugar-eating bacteria in a normal sugar-eating person are very destructive to gums. Very destructive, and are probably the main cause of gum disease, which is the cause of gum bleeding. And these people, regardless of how much dental floss they go through or how many times a day they use a water pick or floss, still get gum disease. How do I know this? The same way I know everything else. I had that problem. No matter what I did, my gums would bleed. Not a lot, but they would always bleed. When I spit that toothpaste out, it wasn't white, it was pink. As soon as I gave up carbs completely and became carnivore, the pink stuff stopped. My gums stopped bleeding. I stopped having that taste of blood, that irony taste of blood in my mouth. And my gums healed. Tooth decay, same thing. This bacteria is what causes all the tooth decay in children. And the more and more our children get addicted to sugar at a younger age, the fatter and sicker they'll become by the time they're 10 years old, and the more rotten their teeth will be, and the more fluoride these misled lunatics will keep wanting to put in our drinking water. For the children. For the children. Great. Great observation. Great observation. Thanks so much for asking that question. It was a great question. It was a great question. I'm not the first guy to answer it that way, but it was a great question. Okay, we're at 9:27. It's 10 o'clock. I've caught up to it a half hour behind, and that's where Kevin Deckard joined the private community, something I talked about 45 minutes ago when it showed up in the real-time chat that I've got scrolling on my left here. I don't know if you noticed it, guys, but coincidentally, I changed the camera angle view to the right side of my studio instead of the left. And you know that I have that porch thing behind me, and I say, because I kept tripping everywhere I walked, I would always, walk in and knock in that camera or trip over the wire that was running across the floor to it, and I said, we got to make a change here. So behind me, you see that railing, and there's a little porch. And right in the corner of the porch up there, right in the corner of the porch, allow me to show you where it is. Right in the corner of the porch, right up there. See that little black thing right up there? That's the camera that's giving me that angle. And the wire now runs way out of the way over to the equipment, and I don't have to worry about tripping on it or anything else. So let me bring myself back into the picture because I can. And little backstage stuff for you. At any rate, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you there tonight. Let me keep running. Tammy, Aunt B, Aaron, Lori, still got 126 people. Some people have probably had to go to work, go shopping or something. Terry Sue says, at the 6:30 here, it's still dark. Yeah, well, good news is the days are going to start getting longer here before too long. The change will be minimal at first, but as we get a couple of months from now, it will accelerate from 30 seconds or 20 seconds a day in the difference to 3 or 4 minutes every day. There's a reason for that. It's mathematical and geometry, and I certainly won't spend time going into that today. Okay, where are we? We're running down. We're at 9:34. It's like a race to the finish. 10 o'clock. Starting to warm up in here a little bit now with the sun. Okay, pursuing better health also became a member. Well, welcome, and it's a she, according to the picture. Welcome. Great to see you. I hope to see you tonight, and thank you, and I hope you enjoy it. And certainly don't get put off by the group of wild people that I have. Even women come in, but not often enough, so screw up your courage, and there'll be links in the chat to join the discussion. Show yourself to the world, and we get to meet face to face, put faces to the name, and actually get to know some of these members as actual people and human beings, which I think is great. I think it's great. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm running through it pretty quick now. I might miss some things. I hope I won't miss any questions. 8:45. See those cues? They do it. Bill Cook, Mitch, were you a drinker or did you used to enjoy a drink here or there? If so, what kind? Fortunately for me, I never drank. Not after I got drunk when I was a young kid in the Army. So sick I almost died. From that day forth, I never liked the taste of alcohol. I have never been a drinker. The worst, the most, I don't even think I've had a beer in 50 years. The only thing that I would drink is wine. When I went over to my son's house, he'd offer me a glass, and I would always just take a half a glass of wine, and it would last the whole night. Because some of these wines had, were pretty good. They had pretty nice flavors. But as far as mixed drinks go, no, never was a drinker. And I was very fortunate that I only had to deal with the one addiction, the carb addiction, at a time. So for a little while there, way back when I did drink, I was drinking, and to answer your question, I drank bourbon or Canadian whiskey like Crown Royal. And usually drank it with water. Never liked the sweet mixers. And my bourbon of choice was 100 proof Old Granddad, but that was for a very short period of time in my life. And I tolerated the taste of it, but never enjoyed it. And never, ever once in my life did I say, I need a drink, no matter how tough things got. What I said instead was, I need some carbs, unfortunately. It's turned out to be a tougher addiction to kick than the alcohol. Let's see. I must have been on a rant here. Lizzie says, get him, Mitch. Oh, I don't hesitate. Like I said, oh yeah, this was the time of my rant, a cleansing rant. Yeah. Nobody's ever accused me of keeping my opinions to myself. It's on my mind. And you're in shouting distance. You're going to hear all about it. Hey, Agent 87, good morning to you. You're late. But good morning anyway. Jeff Streslak. Hiya, Jeff. I don't know if I said hi to you. That was so long ago, I don't remember some of the hellos I said. Tammy agrees that it's a great trait to say what's on your mind. Well, it is. And the people that hang around, Tammy, at least you know that you're not, that you have the ability and the freedom to say what's on your mind, and you can be honest. Question. Mitch, have you seen the show Superior Donuts starring Judd Hirsch talk about a trigger? No. I haven't even heard of that show, but had I heard of it, I probably wouldn't watch it anyway. What is it, a sitcom revolving around a donut shop? Yeah, that's exactly what we should be watching. It's bad enough we got to watch the commercials. And here, let's see, Scott Evans, Tammy, Lori. I'm cruising, 9:55. Wow, it's 10 after 9. Who is this? Rosie! Jesus! Where you been? How you doing, Rosie? Most of you don't even remember Rosie. How you doing? Good to see you, sweetie. I mentioned everyone passing through while waiting for the bridge tournament to begin. Yeah, Rosie's life revolves around bridge. Mitch, I see you're up to 38.8K. Wow. I found you at 20K. You are loved for sure, and I want to Teach you bridge, my friend. I'm sorry, Rosie, I have no interest in learning card games. I never played cards or board games. That's not my style, but obviously I don't find anything wrong with it. Same thing with golf. I know how important it is to you, but check in a little more often, sweetie, will you? Let us know you're okay. A lot of people still ask about you. I'm glad that I noticed that you put that entry in there. And I hope you're still hanging in there to hear my response. Well, it wasn't too long ago. You may still be here. Great to see you. Great to see you. I think about you sometimes. I worry. I wonder what happened to Rosie. Then I said, nah, Rosie's probably off playing bridge somewhere. And listen, if you and your husband have that love of bridge in common, that's a great thing to have to strengthen marriages. You know, I always wish you the best. Pamela Suarez, I don't know if I saw you yet this morning. Terry Sue says, geez, Mitch, catch up already, will you? You think we have all day? And another member, Carnivorous Cat Mom, welcome. Welcome. Welcome to the private group. We'll see you tonight. You'll learn so much more about it. Michael Allen, I don't believe I said hi to you yet. I am catching up. I am 2 minutes behind. Going down the home stretch. I have hit it. Pamela Suarez is the last one. My God. The crowd cheers. He's done. He's finished. He did it. Yes. Oh, man. I think this is officially maybe. No, not quite. I think I did one 5 minutes longer the other day. At any rate, we've come to the end of this. We've come to the end of this, people. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Most of you have hung in there. That was great. That was great. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. It'd be hard to enjoy it as much as I do, but I hope you come close. And hope you enjoyed chatting with all your friends. We'll see you all tonight. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Give you a couple of minutes to say goodbye to each other in the chat. I will start the happy music. And we've got 1 hour and 1 minute and 45 seconds until you get to take the rest of the day off. In the meantime, I will drink some more of my coffee. You guys can say goodbye. And it's still hot. Wow. That's life's simple pleasures. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Uh-oh. Always have a spare. Yes. And everybody saying goodbye. Lori, Terry Sue, Pamela Suarez, Michael Allen, father of United Carnivore, Mike Seeley, Tammy, Pamela Suarez again. Bill Cook says goodbye. Steve Rogers says goodbye. Susan Fry. Robbie Autry says goodbye. Denise Kink. Terry Sue again. Boyd Lamb is here, hanging in there till the very end. Super. So, my friends, perfectly timed, as a professional show business person would do. Have a great day, everybody. I don't even have to take down this thing. I'm going to leave it up here so I can do the live stream tonight from it. We'll have a good time. We'll have a party. See you there, especially you new members. But until tonight, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.